Hello, and welcome to the Jira Service Management feature demonstration. I'm Ken Connally, Principal Technical PMM here at Atlassian, and I'll be your tour guide today. So let's talk foundational topics. Here at Atlassian, we work with thousands of customers all around the world. We've seen their technology-driven transformations and understand the challenges of shipping new features faster while minimizing outages and maximizing the capabilities of service delivery. With that in mind, we've built Jira Service Management and all of our products with a goal of unlocking high-velocity teams by accelerating the flow of work through an open, collaborative platform that delivers value fast. You'll see a quicker ROI because it's easy to set up, and with our transparent pricing, you'll see greater value when comparing us to other market solutions. First, what is Jira Service Management? Let's start with a typical service lifecycle of plan, deliver, and operate. Within those activities, you have common practices such as demand, change, and incident management. Jira Service Management is the package that sits at the heart of those practices. And that package can be easily expanded to deliver a more robust service management experience with things such as asset configuration and knowledge management. And expanded further still to deliver a better service management and DevOps experience overall with companion apps such as Bitbucket, Jira Software, and Jira Align. Now here at Atlassian, we believe in a team-based approach. So what do we mean by that? In traditional help desk tools, customers, and they can be internal or external, submit their request or report their incidents through a service catalog. All those records are routed to a central service desk, where they undergo initial troubleshooting and then routing and assignment to second and third level support teams for resolution. This leads to slowdowns in resolution time and a single forced process for all teams. At Atlassian, we think there's a better way. With Jira Service Management's team-based approach, customers still go through a service catalog, but then those records are routed directly to the teams that support them, and all of this is transparent to the customer through a unified experience. This not only speeds up resolution times, it also gives the power to the individual teams to build and manage their record types and the workflows that support them, all without sacrificing visibility and collaboration across teams. We've also worked closely with Axelos, who owns ITIL, on how to help teams embrace the lean, agile, and more DevOps-friendly techniques that enable value. In this tour, we'll be focused on our cloud offering, which comes in the following plans. Free, for small teams getting started with a service desk. Standard, for teams maturing to standardized service desk and service management practices. And Premium and Enterprise editions, for organizations seeking high-velocity service management at scale and mission-critical 24/7 support. As always, our licensing is transparent and available on our website. And here's a fun little bonus. Business users are free. That's right. Service requesters and approvers do not require a JSM license, which is a significant difference between Atlassian and our competitors. In addition to the products mentioned earlier, we have a very robust marketplace with over 1,000 apps to assist with your unique feature or integration needs. Lastly, there are a number of additional support options and resources available to you, from documentation, to our technical account managers, to our solution partners, to our enthusiastic Atlassian community, where you can chat with other Atlassian users and product experts. And that covers our foundational look at Jira Service Management. Let's dive into Service Request Management. Here I'll be showing Jira Service Management along with our Confluence-powered knowledge base and Insight for giving additional power and context from your services, key data, assets, and configuration items. I'll show how Jira Service Management allows your organization to intake, track, and resolve requests quickly to ensure everyone gets the help they need from an accountable team. So Jira Service Management is flexible, allowing help seekers to submit requests through email, an embeddable widget, via Help and Slack or MS Teams, or a service catalog or portal that can be branded or customized just for your organization. As many of our customers use Jira Service Management for external support, we offer features including an external service desk template, which has the flexibility of an external customer view in addition to an internal customer or employee view. So let's take a look at the service catalog or portal. Again, here is the look from an internal customer or employee perspective. As you can see, there are numerous offerings from the various teams. And here is the look from an external customer point of view. As you can see, it's quite stripped down. You can, of course, cater yours as needed. Switching back to the internal view, as I mentioned prior, here is where the various support teams present their offerings. Each one of these cards represents a front door to a team's service offerings. The portal itself has customization options to either highlight key service desks or leverage smarts to surface the most popular ones, thus accelerating navigation for the business users. Within the service portal, business users can submit requests, incidents, changes, and any other types of records they need across their entire organization. We'll poke through a few of these to give you an idea of the possibilities. The best thing about the portal is that the person using it doesn't need to know any of that. They just find what they need, and JSM does the rest. Something unique I also want to quickly call out is Atlassian's platform-level smarts, which enables advanced search across the entire portfolio, tailoring results based on context and user behavior. We'll get into this a little deeper in the knowledge section. So let's try out a few service request examples. Our first one is a very simple how-to example, with just 1 or 2 fields for asking a question. But even with a simple request, teams have the opportunity to get users to the knowledge that can assist them, because at the request level, you can further filter the results of knowledge-based searching to ones relevant to only this type of request. As you can see, there are many techniques at your disposal to help users get relevant help and boost your call or request deflections, saving your support teams precious time and money. Now let's look at a slightly more complex one, such as this one for ordering a new laptop. We're going to assume we're Dante, and he's broken the screen on his laptop and needs to order a new one. Using data-driven techniques and automation, we're going to significantly increase the speed of this request. So first, let's take a look at the data that'll drive this request. Here we see a list of the laptops deployed, those in stock or disposed, who owns them, and other relevant data points. And here's Dante's. As you can see, the current status is in use. And here we see a list of standard laptop models, along with some standard accessories such as keyboards and mice. Going back to the request form, we'll fill in the fields and select from those standard models and accessories, and we'll submit this request. It's here I'll note that both the data repository and these fields are dynamic, so if the data updates, such as you get a new laptop model in stock, the form updates in real time. Now we'll take a look at what happened in a minute, but first, let's have a look at another slightly more complex request type. For this one, we're showing an example of our native AWS Service Catalog integration, where you can make your AWS Service Catalog items available to your users. In this case, we're showing one where a user can request a virtual Linux desktop. I'm going to fill out and submit this request, and that will kick off a workflow along with automation, and after a minute or so, presto, there's your shiny new VM. Now, let's take a look at a more complex one, such as employee onboarding, where we'll show the combined powers of data models and dynamic forms to present a request experience that's dynamic, automated, and powerful. We'll assume we're hiring a new developer. We'll give them a name, choose their manager, assign their department, and then we'll pick their job role, which is filtered based on the department we chose, start date, employment type, and now we'll order some equipment for them, such as a laptop, monitor, accessories, and a phone, because everyone needs a phone. And then we'll assign an office location. Now, there are numerous other fields here that we could potentially fill in, but in the interest of time, I won't do that. I'll just highlight a couple capabilities, such as field validation, which is in place for this field. If you don't match the format listed, it'll let you know to fix it before you can submit. And a few other fields here have additional data needed, which dynamically appears based on the answers to the selections. But as I said, I'll just pop the name I'm using in here as a submitter and send it off. Okay, so that's submitted, and here's where I can track my requests. And here's where I can see other requests I've created. along with any that require my approval. Teams also have the capability of exposing status changes to the customer via the portal to allow things such as quick escalations, which we can take a look at on this request here. And it bears repeating. Requesters and approvers don't require a JSM license. So with that great news, let's switch to the agent's perspective so you can see the automation, approval, and fulfilling of these requests. The first thing we'll look at is the Your Work view, where you can quickly get to things you've worked on recently, viewed, been assigned to, or starred as important. Along the top here, you'll see another view of those team offerings, or as we refer to them, projects. And in JSM, projects are like service desks. You can create multiple projects to give each service team in your organization their own service desk. For example, you might have a finance, an HR, facilities, IT, or legal service desk project. Now let's talk about working across disparate teams. Because of our collaborative approach and the power of the Jira platform, there are native integrations between Jira Service Management, Jira Work Management, and Jira Software. Your agents have complete visibility into all service desks, work management, and software development projects. This enables all teams to collaborate seamlessly. We can easily move from an HR team over to a software dev team, over to an IT service desk team, each one representing a team's distinct set of work. And because it's a frequent point of confusion with some of our existing customers, it's also important to again point out that not every licensed user of a product like Jira Software will require a Jira Service Management license. Again, it'll depend on what work they're doing as to what licenses they need. With that, let's first take a look at the Central Service Desk, which uses our ITSM template. The first thing you'll see are queues. As you can see, parent queues sort records by type: service request, incident, problem, change, and post-incident review. Within each parent queue, you have sub-queues to further filter records by status and who it's assigned to. You can edit these queues or easily create your own queues here to further personalize and streamline work using these pre-built drop-downs, or you can add your own. Now let's look at our new laptop request record. Within each record, you have several bits of key information. We'll take a look at a few, such as the requester, the type and reason for their request, the SLA associated with the request, and SLAs, if you don't know, help your team deliver on customer expectations. They can be defined by the type of record or fields that make up the record, such as urgency and priority, whether it needs an approval or who the approvers are, any comments, internal or external, the history or audit of what's occurred, the work log or any time recorded, and you'll also notice that here you can also consult the knowledge base or create articles right from here, such as the one we viewed prior. It's also easy to collaborate by tagging team members on the record. And with the power of data and automation, because Dante reported his laptop as damaged, we've added it here and updated its status. We've also added his manager as the approver and assigned it to his manager all in one step. So besides the comment and time I added just for this demo, this record is now well on its way without any support agent touching it. Going a step further, we can also create a new laptop record once this record has been approved. So that's a small sampling of some of the fields available, and you can create your own should you need them. And between the field capabilities, the power of insight and automation, you can do just about anything. Next, we'll take a look at the workflow associated with this request. We give you a set of workflows to use out of the box, along with common status steps and typical transitions between these steps, including any rules needed, such as approvals. These can, of course, be adapted to meet the unique needs of your teams and customers. It's also easy to set up different workflows for different types of requests should you need to. Now let's go back and take a look at the HR requests we submitted. As we switch service desks and teams, you'll note the differences in the queues and types of requests here. That's because we're now in the HR service desk, and they, of course, have different needs than an IT team. Let's look at our request. Here you can see our parent request, along with a form we created from the service portal, along with several child records, created automatically to distribute that work to the teams that support it. Here's one for IT, with a checklist along with additional requests to set up the employee's laptop, phone, and systems access, which is created by looking up the role we assigned and its access policy, which dictate which systems the person should have access to. Here's one for facilities, with a checklist along with a request for keycard creation. We even have a field that shows keycards in stock should the agent want to assign one right from here. You can also see here that the initial employee record has been created. And once it's complete, it'll look like Dante's, which we can see here, and then explore the asset's role and location associated with him. Capabilities like these allow multiple people or teams to work on a request with only the information they need for their particular step. Okay, let's head back over to the central service desk. So it's important to demonstrate the value your team is bringing to the organization. So here, I want to take a pause to talk a little about how you can utilize various reporting techniques in the platform. So we've seen queues already. They're at the team level. As I mentioned, we give you several out of the box, and they can be customized using our native Jira query language, or you can create your own. They can also be sorted into categories and highlighted when needed. Our next stop is filters, which can be at a team or organization level. These will bring back all records, regardless of which service desk they're coming from. Then we have reports, which we also give you a set out of the box that can be customized or created from scratch. And we'll take a look at a few samples, like types of service requests, to get a sense of what your customers are asking for. SLAs, and you can tweak the time ranges and graph styles if you want. We have request deflections or articles marked useful in your knowledge base. Customer satisfaction scores, along with many others. You can edit these reports or export the data, and you can also create your own custom reports within JSM or by using one of our marketplace apps. These reports can be placed here, of course, or on a custom dashboard for team or individual use. Now, dashboards can be run across one team or multiple. They're built using gadgets and filters, so you can tweak and tune each one for whatever purpose is needed. Here you can see we created a dashboard for the IT leadership team that allows oversight across teams, as well as drill down capabilities into a team's performance. Here we see insights into workflow performance, active incidents, changes by service, resource optimization, and SLA metrics. And this is just a sample. So dashboards like these aid the agent or manager with understanding what is happening with their customers. All right, that's our foundational look at service request management in Jira Service Management, and how a team-centric approach to request management enables efficient flow of work in your organization. Now let's dive into incident management. Here I'll be showing how Jira Service Management, along with the Atlassian family of products, enables rapid incident response and resolution, as well as helping teams learn and improve so the same incident never happens again. Incidents can come from a variety of sources, and regardless of where they come from, Jira Service Management has you covered. The most common place is your business users or customers, and using the Service Catalog or portal, your users have access to a streamlined process that routes incidents directly to the teams that support them. Customers also have access to key knowledge base articles to help you empower your users to shift left and fix their own issues. Over on the agent side, agents have access to a global create feature that lets them select the right service desk for the incident in question, again saving precious time getting the incident where it needs to go. You should also note that anyone with a Jira license of any type can do this. With our native integrations, you also have access to over 200 of the best monitoring, IT service management, chat ops, and collaboration tools, enabling world-class alerting and incident routing capabilities. With Status Page, you can not only communicate your incidents, but you can also subscribe to third-party vendors who use Status Page to communicate their incidents on services that you might depend on. So when they know they have an incident, you do too. And with Help, our conversational ticketing tool, your users can also submit incidents directly from Slack or Microsoft Teams, taking the work to where your people are. Once your incidents have arrived, your agents need timely access to key people and information to get incidents resolved quickly, and the incident capabilities in Jira Service Management help you do exactly that. It starts with the ability to quickly bulk link related records together, right from the queue you are working in. Once you have your key incident record identified, the issue view brings together several pieces of important information, including the service affected, along with information about the service, including any related records that are currently open, key infrastructure information that may be related to this incident, along with graphs that help visualize dependencies, related changes against this service, knowledge base articles containing runbooks and other troubleshooting guides, smarts-enabled fields like assignment that will suggest assignees based on who is most likely to interact with the type of record you're working on, any alerts that have occurred, notifying key responders and stakeholders of what's occurring, stakeholder communications, a timeline showing key events and activities, you can also quickly spin up a video conference or Slack channel to streamline communication. Whether this incident has been declared major, as well as utilize our incident investigation capability to review recent code deployments from your CI/CD tool to further aid in rapidly identifying potential root causes. As I mentioned earlier, to enhance your end user or customer communications, you can utilize your own status page, which is also integrated with the portal to aid in call deflection, thus keeping your agents focused on their incident investigation. And once you have your incident resolved, you can easily generate a related problem record or post-incident review to further investigate root cause, review lessons learned, and put measures in place to ensure this incident never happens again. Over on the analytics side, again, you have reports that can be both real-time and historical, covering a broad area of topics, from records created versus resolved, mean time to resolution, service level agreements met versus breached, customer-facing versus internal incidents, incidents by service, and many others that can be created and configured to your liking. And as mentioned earlier, dozens of gadgets and custom filters which allow support agents or team leads to quickly generate and customize a particular type of report to use on a dashboard for easy sharing and viewing. You can even embed reports on a Confluence page for easier access by business stakeholders. All right, that's our foundational look at incident management, showing how Jira Service Management enables rapid incident response and resolution for your organization. Okay, let's dive into change enablement. Whether rolling out new services, managing existing ones, or resolving bugs in the code, Jira Service Management helps teams practice adaptive change enablement, increase deployment frequency, and generate increasing value to your customers. Here I'll be showing how Jira Service Management, along with Jira Software and Bitbucket, helps teams deliver value to customers in a constantly evolving environment. In the interest of speed and flexibility, we offer several methods for creating changes, including via the service portal, where requests can be made dynamically to support pre-approved standard changes as well as normal changes, with any level of depth your dev and ops teams require. As you've seen, we offer a global create feature, where any record of any type can be created by anyone with a Jira license. And we have numerous automation techniques, including our out-of-the-box Jira Software and CI/CD tool integrations that create change records at the moment of code deployment with no input needed from the developer, thus keeping them focused on what they do best. Let's take a look at some examples. In our first example, we see a developer deploying code that is pre-approved. Because of the integration and automation I mentioned, with no input from the developer, a change record is created, risk assessed, filled in with the relevant details, and moved all the way through to completed. Change does not get much faster than that, folks. In our next example, we see the same developer deploying code that needs an approval. In this case, all the same automation fires, except that the change will pause the deployment until the required approvals are complete, at which point it will automatically release the code to fully execute. In this example, we have a twist on the pre-approved change, whereby deployments can be set to soak for a period of time in lower environments to ensure there are no unforeseen impacts. Using a combination of deployment calendars and service level agreements, you can configure your soak times to be different based on any number of factors, such as the affected service and change risk. Here, the soak time was set to 2 hours, and as you'll note in the history, the automation held the change, and as no incidents occurred during that time, it then auto-approved and deployed it after the time had concluded. In a related example, the change has been held because there is an incident in progress on the service. In this case, an additional level of approval is necessary to proceed. This gives your teams an extra layer of incident protection. As you've seen, on the agent side, we offer an ITSM template, as well as a change practice you can apply to any request type, along with the automation just mentioned built in for easy configuration. When viewing a change, relevant information such as the change type, change risk, that can also be powered by automation, the service affected, along with any supporting infrastructure, and related active events, thus keeping you apprised of any increased risk at this point in time. A change calendar to aid in planning your change and avoiding any change collisions that also gives you real-time context into any incidents occurring on the service in question. And change plan templates, powered by Confluence, where all relevant parties can collaborate in real time, thus increasing the efficiency of the change execution. On the analytics side, you have reports that again can be both real-time and historical, covering a broad area of topics from changes by type, mean time to approve changes, and many others that can be configured to your liking. And as I mentioned earlier, dozens of gadgets and custom filters, which allow support agents or teams to quickly generate and customize a particular type of report to use on a dashboard for easy sharing and viewing. Looking back at our team lead dashboard, I'll again highlight the area where you can see changes to services, thus keeping everyone aware of key events. All right, that's our foundational look at change enablement, showing how Jira Service Management enables seamless and rapid change execution. All right, let's dive into knowledge management. So Atlassian believes in an open approach to knowledge management. By leveraging the power of Confluence, teams can collaborate on knowledge across all your service management practices. Let's first discuss where you can use knowledge. Our first stop is here in the Service Portal, where with our AI-powered smarts technology, only the most relevant and recently used articles are surfaced to the user. You can remember we looked at this just a little while ago. Next is within the projects or service desks themselves, where knowledge can be focused and categorized for easy navigation by your business users. Now, going a level deeper, knowledge can be further targeted to specific request types. You'll note here that the same search we just used produces different results because we are in a request related to setting up the VPN. This further enables a shift left and getting your business users the help they need when they need it. On the agent side, knowledge can be searched just as easily, and then linked and sent when needed. Going further into the architecture, knowledge is first started as a space, and teams can have one or multiple spaces. Within a space, you have pages or articles. And for both spaces and pages, you have permission to control visibility and who can edit a page or just comment on it. And within the pages themselves, Atlassian brings market-leading collaboration capabilities, including real-time collaboration, the ability to add inline comments, @mentions, labeling, and dynamic macros that allow you to insert Jira charts, Google Docs, Trello boards, Box, Dropbox, and Microsoft Office attachments, table of contents, and so much more. Collaborators or reviewers don't even need a Jira Service Management license, as opposed to expensive alternatives that require collaborators to hold a license. And as for the articles themselves, they can be quickly written by starting with one of our 100+ templates, including incident postmortems or PIRs, which you've seen, known errors, runbooks, and more. You can also make your own templates to share with others. From the agent view, articles can be created via a Jira record, both in template fashion and via an existing incident. Both methods will pull fields from the record into the article to streamline creation. You can also import articles. Or you can have third-party integration, such as live links to Microsoft SharePoint or Google Drive embedded on the articles themselves to aid in keeping an article up to date. Feedback on articles can be provided through multiple methods as well. Collaborators can comment directly on the article itself, as well as watch or be notified of article changes. And business users on the front end can mark an article as useful. All of this feeds analytics, which can give you insights into which articles are useful, which may need an update, and who may be particularly adept at authoring articles. All right, that's our foundational look at how Jira Service Management enables an open and collaborative approach to knowledge management. Okay, let's dive into asset and configuration management. So you can use Jira Service Management to store just about anything. Unlike repositories and configuration systems of the past, Jira Service Management is flexible and open by design, so that you can address any need or pain point you want, whether that's storing data to drive elements in a request, tracking assets, or understanding your service maps and underlying infrastructure dependencies. It's all possible. So let's check out how it works. So we have 3 levels of data hierarchy. Each is open and defined by the user. So first, we have object schemas, which can be thought of as a separate asset or data repository that you can link to each other. These are to help users break their data into logical, manageable chunks to help keep the data updated and secure. Second, we have object types, which define the objects you want to store. Each of these has a set of attributes that defines what the object is. Example object types include services, hosts, cloud instances, monitors, anything the user wants. We even have customers storing and tracking their fish, pianos, and cars. I mean, how cool is that? So finally, we have the objects themselves, where you can then apply those attributes and relationships. And here's how those constructs would be represented in Jira Service Management. And again, you can use it for just about anything. So let's take a look at a few samples. Here we have services, applications, even cloud providers such as AWS, Azure, Google Cloud, even employees and related employee information. And this is just a sample of the types of schemas you can use and build in Jira Service Management. Organizations also have full control over the relationship types between objects. This lets them visualize dependencies graphically and then define the type of relationship, as you can see here, with this employee and their associated information and assets. So one of the main challenges of high-speed digitalization is keeping the information up to date. Jira Service Management addresses the need of auto-discovery of on-premise environments like data center, offices, and branches with the help of our native discovery tool. First, it scans the network, and then data is imported into Jira Service Management to provide information on physical assets, virtual assets, installed applications, licenses, and even patch levels. This way, configuration changes can easily be detected and updated for triggering other practices such as change management and security management with the help of automation rules. In addition to the discovery tool, Jira Service Management accepts data in CSV, JSON, and database file formats in case the source system doesn't have standard APIs. We also offer integration capabilities to other market-leading solutions, such as those seen here. Lastly, our API is open and documented such that you can further customize to your needs. With these schemas and service models in place, customers can leverage them in a variety of ways, some of which you've already seen, such as powering service requests and other service management practices with relevant assets, CIs, and data elements. Enhancing details on reported incidents. The schemas and service models can also be leveraged to drive approvals and risk calculations. Empowering developers and service desk agents with affected asset and CI information, along with service graphs that show dependencies and related issues for use cases such as incident investigation, change impact, and inventory management. All right. That's our foundational look at how Jira Service Management brings an open and flexible approach to asset and configuration management. Okay, let's dive into enterprise service management. So, service management was never just for IT. The language may change a little here and there, but for many years, all sorts of teams from HR to security to facilities to a host of others have leveraged the practices within service management. At the end of the day, a request or incident or any of the other core practices are fundamentally the same, regardless of where or with which teams they occur. So with that in mind, Jira Service Management, and more broadly the Jira Unified Cloud Technology Platform that it is built on, has been designed to unleash the potential of every team. Whether your teams are in IT, software development, or non-technical functions, our platform powers open and efficient collaboration. All of this is not to say that there aren't differences amongst the work that service management teams perform, and that is where our templates give the various types of teams a head start. So here in the service management templates, teams from IT to HR to facilities and even legal can get started with the tools they need for high-velocity service management. You'll note that each template comes with a unique set of requests, issues, and workflows to get you going. And speaking of workflows, in addition to the workflows we provide with the templates, we also have a workflow library available, powered by our Atlassian community. Some of you are probably watching right now, so we thank you. And whether you need to build a workflow from scratch or modify one, it's a simple, no-code, drag-and-drop exercise. Additionally, as we know some teams want the power and flexibility that our out-of-the-box IT service management practices give, we also offer the ability to turn the individual practices on and off in the projects or service desks that you create or are already working in. Now, once your template is chosen, you're going to want to customize your requests to fit the work that you do. And this is where our forms experience really shines. Again, we give teams templates to get them started. In this case, over 300 are available, of all types, to accelerate the capture of data from customers and business users, as well as enhance your workflows to ensure consistency in delivery. And you've seen some of these examples today. Then, the next thing you'll probably look to do is layer on our low-code, no-code automation engine. And we've seen several examples of that today, of all the things you could potentially do with that engine. Now, we'll assume all of your service teams have their service desks and offerings set up, and we'll take another look at the service catalog or portal. Again, I'll emphasize that despite the individual teams catering their service desks and offerings as needed for them, they're all presented to your customers or business users in a single unified experience. We've already seen a couple examples of this today, but let's take a look at a couple more. We'll start with this one for recording vaccination status. So here users can select from the applicable vaccines. They can record their efficacy dates and attach the proof. And once this request is processed, it'll automatically create the vaccine record and associate it to the user. You can even set automation to check the efficacy end dates and then send reminders to users to update their vaccinations. Now let's head over and take a look at a facilities use case. Let's say I'm an employee and an air conditioner isn't working in one of the meeting rooms. I don't know where to get help, so here I can enter what I'm looking for into the search bar. This will automatically surface relevant information, including knowledge base articles. And as I mentioned prior, our embedded Smarts intelligence will also remember frequently searched and viewed articles and forms, bringing them to the top of your results list. Let's take a look at this result here. In this case, it's telling me what to do and where to report the broken air conditioner. I'm going to go ahead and fill out and submit this request. And again, layering onto the submission process, particularly in the portal, is the sharing of knowledge. Non-IT teams have all the same capabilities as IT teams, where they can further focus and categorize knowledge for easy navigation, as well as target knowledge to specific request types. You can see here that our results have been streamlined. All right, let's fill in this request. And you'll note that when I select the room, the assets in that room are filtered, so only those can be chosen. And once submitted, that kicks off a workflow so that that request can be routed to the appropriate team and addressed efficiently. And as I mentioned earlier, in addition to the portal, you have numerous other methods for record submission, including email, the widget, global create, and via help, our conversational ticketing tool integrated with Slack or Microsoft Teams. These are all available to non-IT teams, just as they would be for IT teams. It's the same on the agent side, where it's important to again note that these teams all exist here side by side, and there isn't a need to switch to a different tool. We'll take a look through a few teams to give you a sense of the possibilities. Here's HR again. And here's our vaccine request. And here's what the record would look like connected to the user. And here's marketing. And here we can see an example of a campaign request And here's facilities, where we can see our air conditioner repair request. As you no doubt noted by now, the possibilities are near endless for what teams can build, offer, and share. And on the analytics side, you can utilize all the same techniques we reviewed earlier to give your teams the insights they need to manage their services effectively. All right, that's our foundational look at how Jira Service Management brings a flexible and teams-based approach to enterprise service management. And lastly, I want to highlight our mobile apps, which allow you to take ITSM on the go. For things like managing your queues, making assignments, submitting approvals, and staying on top of major incidents no matter where you are. So modernizing to drive the pace of software-powered business requires unique capabilities. Jira Service Management unlocks high-velocity teams by accelerating the flow of work through an open, collaborative platform, thus delivering exceptional service value fast. That wraps our tour today. We thank you for joining us, and we encourage you to try Jira Service Management for yourself.